It is now 2 years ago that I moved to Copenhagen, and I realized that living in Copenhagen is quite different from living in the Netherlands. In this video I want to focus on two observations that are of interest for our discussion on the influence of the environment on the aging process. First, I want to talk about the distinction between private and public. Let's have a look at the design of the living environment, the neighborhoods. In the Netherlands, people in cities have residential houses with inner gardens. And these inner gardens are always divided between the houses of that block and the other block. And of course, between the gardens they have their own fences to separate mine and theirs. When I came to Copenhagen, I realized that there is an entirely different approach here. Almost all the residential blocks in Copenhagen have gardens that are communal. Facilities are shared there, from bike parking, garbage disposal, up to drying poles for the laundry. Also, this is a shared space where people sit, relax, hang out with neighbors, have drinks or barbecue together, and have a great place for the kids to play with the many shared toys and bikes. It is not difficult to understand that such a communal environment promotes social interactions. It is not only fun, but I know of several occasions where all the people receive regular help from their neighbors, much more than I have experienced in the Netherlands. The built environment thus helps to build up a social environment. Some privacy is given up, of course, but there is a lot to win in such a communal approach. A second observation that I want to share with you is the way they approach biking. Now, coming from the Netherlands, I thought I came from the Mecca of biking, but I have changed my view. I think Copenhagen is doing a far better job than most cities in the Netherlands, and let me explain why. About 10 years ago, the municipality of Copenhagen decided that they were going to be the cycling capital of the world. Not by telling people to cycle more, but by making the city the most bike-friendly city of the world. And when they announced this, the people in Amsterdam, they laughed, because they couldn't believe it. But they have succeeded. Last year, Copenhagen has surpassed Amsterdam as the cycling capital of the world. Let us have a look how they used the environment to seduce people to take up the bike. First, they started to measure everything. Every 2 years, the municipality published a cycling account. And this account has all the facts. How many people are cycling to work, what is the average distance they biked, and what other modes of transport did they use, and how often, and why? What is the primary motivation for people to start or to stop cycling to work, etc. And all these facts, that was the beginning to start to change the city. They developed green waves. You can now cycle for more than 6 kilometers from outside town into the heart of the center without having to stop once for a red light. In the Netherlands, we only have this for cars. When they identified that people experience difficulty combining a bike trip with public transport, especially for the daily home-to-work commute, they added wagons for bikes to each train. In the Netherlands, it's getting increasingly more difficult to carry a bike on the train. They analyzed all the movements of people on bikes and made extra bridges or flyovers, cykelstangen or bicycle snakes, how they call them, to make the bike the fast and most attractive mode of transport. And the best example probably is their approach to parking. If you park your bike outside